say, what makes manga art better? I am very curious what the direction is here. I wanted to watch this mainly because I have a huge problem. I have this massive problem. It's a throbbing problem when it comes to video games now in the main industry. I think we've had such a focus on realism that we've lost everything that makes video games fun. They've moved away from art style, and we've lost environments you can mess with. We've lost all the core fun things of video games just so we can watch a movie in worse quality, right? And it bothers me. I've always thought realism's kind of annoying, and I'm kind of curious if maybe that we're talking like anime versus like traditional art, and why, honestly, I've always liked this type of art style better is because I'm not a big fan of realism. I really am not. Like when I saw, what's that game, dude? Horizon or whatever, and they're like, look at the Peach Fuzz rendering. And I'm like, I don't care if the bitch has got a beard or not. I really don't. Nothing makes me want to play that game. Oh, robot dinosaurs in a giant open world. It's basically Ubisoft garbage. Oh no, I don't care. Nobody cares. So I want to see, maybe this is the perspective. I have no idea, but we're getting into it.
Realism in manga is overrated. The way people discuss manga art, and in a sense 2D art in general, is a little mistaken. I think people are asking the wrong questions when making a list of, I don't know, top 10 mangas with the best art, and One Punch Man is number 1. And I think it all has to do with character design and the spacing and lighting of backgrounds. I think design philosophy is so much more interesting to digest than super detailed backgrounds and textures. Quick question. Which of these art pieces do you find more interesting, more artistically memorable? Pablo Picasso's early works or his late works? For me, it's unquestionably his.
I don't know. This is kind of fire, though. This doesn't really look like realism either. That's kind of fire, dude. This is like, obviously goofy shredded face is fire in its own right. But this guy's face is pretty good. It's enough off that it looks unhuman, but it's still human. And I think I prefer this. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I hate realism or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? Or maybe I like realism. Maybe I've been wrong the whole time. This video is obviously going a different direction than I thought it was, and I made a whole intro that doesn't matter.
His late works. They have so much more to say, which is almost ironic because I think a lot of people outside of art spheres think this is what all of Picasso's art looks like. You know how people say, oh, I'm no Picasso. You ever hear someone say that? But no, he revolutionized the design of figures and the very philosophy with which modern art stands upon.
I didn't realize he did that much, but I do have to say I like his realism ones too. I think he's got a lot of fun. I hate people who they crap on Pablo Picasso. I think he had a lot to give to the realm of art in a lot of different ways. But people will look at this type of stuff right here and they're like, oh, he's crap, he's bad. And then they'll look at his realism ones and they're like, oh, actually, it's pretty good. Pablo Picasso good. And then they'll be like, oh no, Pablo Picasso bad. Dude, when it gets into the realm of arguing about artists, I just think it's the dumbest thing ever. It's like, wow, they did something cool. Move on.
Asks a different question than his straight portraits. The early portraits ask, what does the person look like? The late portraits ask, how does the person look? Not necessarily what do they resemble, but what could they resemble? Accuracy to reality is not necessarily the goal, at least not the way our eyes see it. The exaggeration of facial and body features reflects personality in a different way. Without this type of artistic revolution...
Dude, I thought it was a fish and then it became a chicken. At first I thought it was going to be a face. And I'm like, that's going to be a face. That's easily going to be a face. So everybody knows that's going to be a face. And then he drew a fish and I'm like, that's a fish. Everybody knows that's a fish. What are we talking about? That's a fucking fish. Then he pulled a chicken out of nowhere, dude. Pablo Picasso, mic drop.
You don't have cartoon characters, at least not the way they are now. Whenever I watch Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, I think Picasso would have loved this. And in general, throughout cartoon history, designers have embraced this revolution all across different mediums and genres. Body parts are exaggerated, eyes are made bigger, smiles are made wider. Characters have more dynamic colors, and it's all because of an embracement.
Speaking of art, I know I keep pausing and I'm a gooner, but there is something that's really funny. If you've noticed, early anime had a very similar vibe to things like Popeye the Sailor Man and Betty Boop. It's because after they were nuked in World War II, like, let's be honest, they were nuked. A lot of bombs dropped, the most of the bombs. They then were kind of pulled away from the imperial rule, and all art before them being moved away from the imperial rule was propaganda based. There was a lot of propaganda based art. After the nuking, really the only culture they had was kind of like cartoons and stuff, with a lot of Western culture, a lot of Western animation, such as Popeye the Sailor Man and Mickey Mouse and shit. And early anime really resembles that, and it just went in a different direction than our garbage shit did, because I think this is garbage animation. I think this looks like shit. I always hated this show, and that might be a hot take, but I think the Magic World of Gumball is garbage. It annoyed the shit out of me. I hated it. I hated the art style. I thought it looked stupid. I hated every part of it. I didn't find it enjoyable. It's trash. And that's, you can get mad at me for calling it trash, but I think it is hot garbage. And then I look at anime and I'm like, that's much better art. What can I say? What can I say? It looks better.
Of modernism. The critic from Ratatouille. That's another one. That is a Picasso painting right there. You don't have this without...
This is good. I like Ratatouille. The art in Ratatouille is amazing. Everything about Ratatouille is fucking peak.
Modernism in art. I think art that embraces this philosophy has more to say and has longer lasting memorability in our minds. Listen, if you like the more realistic portraits, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm just letting you know, none of you would have recognized nor cared about Picasso if this is all he made. You would not bat an eye.
I don't know. This one's fire. The other one's kind of whatever. This one's fire too. That one's fire. This one's fire. Dude, what are we talking about? I've been watching Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is fantastic. Demon Hunter is peak anime. I like Demon Hunter. Revon, if you ever are curious about anime, make sure to message me on Discord. I have a Discord. It's in my bio. You want to go check it out, go ahead. I mean, just don't post weird shit on there and I won't kick you out. But if you guys are ever curious about anime, I might set up an anime suggestions category, and we can just do anime suggestions in that. There's a lot that I like, and if you're ever curious of my opinion on one, you can ask me, and I can tell you if I think it's dog shit like Naruto. Naruto should have never been made. It is trash, and I hate it. But I think Picasso's got some fire here, dude. This guy right here is fire. This guy's fire. This chick is pretty solid. This one's really good. None of these are good. Oh, wait. I see not Picasso. This one's the most fire in it, though. This is the most fire out of all of them. This is the best one out of all of them. Easily. Not even close. The other ones, they're good, but they're not as good.
With that being said, it's hard to argue that something like this isn't more appealing to look at than, I don't know, this, right? But it kind of requires understanding.
Both of those are bad because it's Naruto. Both of those are terrible because it came from that bullshit dog shit that is Naruto.
Why details make a drawing more engaging. They enhance lighting and depth. So if they don't achieve that purpose, I find them almost unnecessary. It brings me back to the 2 points I made before, design and lighting. A more intricate design is able to convey more complicated emotions, and a wider variety of more dynamic lighting sets tones and establishes settings in a more immersive way. To me, the pure complexity of background or amount of strokes in a character's eye doesn't always do it for me. I used the One Punch Man example before, and here's why I did. They'll have these vast, insanely detailed backgrounds where you can see every single rock in a million miles. And I don't know, I'll probably look at it for a second longer than I would have had it not been super detailed.
I don't know, dude, this is fucking fire. I think when I was going into this, I thought it was like realistic, like not moving away from anime design and trying to look more realistic, and I completely missed. I thought the premise of this video was going to be 100% different because I'm going in blind, dude. I'm going in Ray Charles style. And I have to disagree, dude. This is fucking gorgeous. This is why I like Berserk, is the insane amount of detail.
And that'll be it. That's really a key measure for me. How compelled am I to stay on a panel for longer than usual? And it's kind of like diminishing marginal improvement with each detail. The improvement in a background from, say, 10 minutes drawing it to an hour is going to be very noticeable. But the difference between drawing for 2 hours to 3 hours or 3 hours to 4 hours is going to be less noticeable. there's just only so much you can do. And I feel like that's the basket that a bunch of manga decide to put their eggs in, as opposed to, oh, I don't know, having a better release schedule, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, this is facts. That's facts, too, because Berserk's probably going to be still getting written when I'm like 97 years old. Berserk is never ending. I watched a video on it. It's never ending. We're going to die before Berserk's released. You think that the One Piece has been a long arc? No. One Piece is going to be done in like a few years. Berserk, we will die before we see the end of Berserk.
Kind of needs to be an understanding of what manga consumption is like. It's not VR. It's not a video game where I'm trying to be plugged in and run around the place. It's a graphic novel, an extension of a book. To some extent, I can still use my imagination to fill in the gaps. It is a visual medium, yes, but one that's trying to give me a window into a world, not put me inside it. It's the reason that I'll accept Vagabond as a consensus best manga art, but I don't agree with it, to be honest. The realistic art style, it's not that it isn't a style, it is an art style, but it's not a style that is trying to give me something radically different from what I see every day in real life. And in Norihiro Yagi's words, young mangakas should always strive to draw something that's never been seen before. So what do you like, Mr. Critic? If you want unique designs and good lighting and dynamic angles and motion so bad, what is your favorite manga in terms of artwork? I'm glad you asked. Let me explain. In 1990, Norihiro Yagi debuted with a one-shot dark comedy manga called Undead Man. It used a lot of dark lighting and interesting monsters. It didn't have a ton of characters, but it was a fun manga, and it won him the 32nd Akatsuka Award. 2 years later, he started a serialized story in Shonen Jump called Angel Densetsu, running for 8 years. And here we see a development in his art style, more supernatural characters, angel wings, monster parts, powers. Then, in 2001, he decided to make the most badass manga I've ever read, Claymore. I'm not gonna
I haven't finished Claymore. Okay, here's the thing. Claymore, what I've seen of it is fantastic. It is the closest I've gotten to Berserk, but I have not finished Claymore. I wanted to finish it, but I just haven't, but the art is beautiful in Claymore. Claymore is very, very much like Berserk. There's a lot of art design that's similar. There's a lot of choices that are similar in aesthetic, not in story. I think Claymore, when I said earlier that there's nothing really that'll scratch that Berserk itch, I watched a few episodes of Claymore and it kind of scratched that itch. It is old though. So if you're not ready to watch some like old grainy anime, it's not like really grainy. It's not like fucking ancient smelling your grandpa's taint, but it is pretty old. And that burns some people off because they want new and flashy, but I think what it has is pretty solid.
Break down the story or events, although it's like a medieval fantasy type thing with knights and monsters and the like. But good God, these monster designs are the best.
Oh no, dude, I would give the chick from Claymore endless back shots, dude. She deserves all the back shots. She's one hot mamma jamma, bro, and everything she wears is skin tight. But it's not like fan servicey skin tight. It's like normal skin tight, which is good.
Anyone has ever made. Yagi's ability to make grotesque, intricate, and just straight fun character designs is totally unmatched. You got Isley, Ophelia, Dolph, Riefel, Alicia, Roxanne, and all these other monsters. Not to mention the way he draws Anastasia's hair. Point is, I'm so much more engaged by these designs than the super muscular fish guys or dragons in One Punch Man, because I've never...
Here's the thing with One Punch Man. One Punch Man has amazing art. It does. It's 100%. And it's drawn with the muscular fish guys because it's a parody of shonen anime. So it has to be the over-the-top shonen anime. It's like, I mean, they go a little too hard on the art, absolutely, but they expect them not to be over-the-top muscular people. You're literally stepping on your own toes, spitting on your own cock, because you do not see the point that there's a reason for them doing that. It just... Like, what? Are they not supposed to look like muscular villain type characters? Because that's what they're supposed to be. He is a superhero fighting supervillains. And honestly, the best characters in all of the like really, really cool characters are more in line with the designs you're saying.
Never seen abominations that look quite like this, that combine elements of horror monsters with action monsters, oriented with body parts that allow for creative battles. And sure, Yagi isn't perfect, right? He kind of suffers from same face syndrome with his human characters, and his backgrounds are good but kind of repetitive. But he represents the most important piece of the puzzle in terms of adding meaningful detail to his story, to his character designs, as opposed to unnecessary fluff that I scroll past. Every stroke of shading and skin on his monster textures contrasts a different part of the body. It's not all muscle or all armor or all bones. He combines the different...
See, this is where he's getting lost out, because like the muscles and stuff in One Punch Man and shit is not realism. Like, none of that's realistic. I don't, like, the whole premise of this is weird. He should have said detail doesn't make it better. Like, realistic details. I don't, like, this is what makes manga art better. It makes no sense. This is just this is so clickbaity. This is actual clickbait. I've been told I do clickbait. This is, like, actually, like, really, really fucking clickbaity. I went into this with complete, like, 8 different expectations, and this is none of what I expected. Not that it's a bad video. I think this is a really incredible, informative video on art, and I do disagree with him on a lot of situations. And it's not even that I expected him to have the same opinions as me or whatever, because if you click on a video expecting all of the same opinions as you and just stand in a circle jerk of everybody, that's fucking lame, and you're cringe and you suck. People are going to have different perspectives. So that's just something you got to live with. And just because you have a different perspective than you doesn't mean that their perspective is 100% wrong, unless it's Ben Shapiro when he made a Batman review. That was just fucking awful.
Textures in shapes and ways that I've never seen before, in such extravagant patterns, allowing for the most critical parts of the monsters to be highlighted. Look at this frame of Orochi from One Punch Man. It's obviously super cool, but I feel like my head is spinning trying to figure out where it ends and where it begins. I feel like so many of these Orochi panels care so much about the spectacle of how big he is that I kind of lose sight of his actual design. Now look at this monster from Claymore. I'm being serious.
But you see, this doesn't feel like this has realistic detail in it too. It's just a different type of realistic detail. Like neither of these are realist. So your whole premise of what you were talking about is this: you're talking about the details in the backgrounds. Then you've went off the fucking deep end. You've gone, I'm the king of tangents and going off the fucking deep end. But this is not even more close to what you were talking about.
This reminds me of Salvador Dali. I love this design. I love the way it flows. I love its fleshiness. It's so much more eerie and ominous than any amount of teeth and claws you can put on a dragon.
Well, yes, they have 2 different points with their art. You want all art to be like this, and that's stupid. That's actually fucking the opposite of what art is. Each art is a different iteration of what it wants to be. Now with One Punch Man, the point is everything that One Punch Man fights needs to be bigger than life, because there's nothing that can defeat him. It has to be bigger than life. Everything has to be a bigger scale, like a traditional shonen Ball Z type anime. So everything has to be bigger than life in One Punch Man. That's the point. The point of this is trying to be more like Berserk, and it's in that dark fantasy. It's that grimy, it's that Geiger, the guy who did Alien type design. This is just your preference. It has nothing to do with realism. I don't fucking know what you're talking about, buddy.
Demon-like creature. The very shape of the figure defines its movement, its texture. So in general, I think hyperrealism can only take you so far. If I was being mean, I could call it boring. I won't, but if I was in a bad mood, I might. Like, I made clear before, I'll always be more engaged by the portrayal of characterization through the contouring of body features than trying so strictly to follow the precision of what real life people look like. Because I see real life people every day.
Who in the fuck in One Punch Man looks like real life people though? Like, let's just random panel. I'm gonna One Punch Man art. No, art. Fucking autocorrect. Images. Dude, yeah, dude, this is realism, bro. Those eyes are realism. That's super realism. Super realism, bro. Like, yeah, dude. That totally fucking realism, dog. Like, his points are dog shit. They're dog shit. It's a parody of, like, everyone, like, even, like, the characters that are trying to look more realistic. They get realistic in moments. It's not the whole fucking thing, dude. I feel like he doesn't understand the talking points he's talking about, and I'm functionally retarded when it comes to art, bro. I am functionally fucking retarded when it comes to art, and I feel like I have like, there's no way this is fucking realism, dude. Like, what are you talking about? And the overly muscular characters are a part of the trope that it's trying to parody. Like, I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about. You have lost the plot. It's like, I don't. But Vagabond, sure, I haven't read Vagabond. I haven't seen much art from Vagabond. Maybe you're right. But with the One Punch Man thing, you're so fucking off base that it makes no sense.
Something new, you know? I think sometimes artists get too deep in this thought of, well, you should always learn the fundamentals first, then deter away from them. Like, yeah, sure, fine, but you don't have to stay there. You can draw literally whatever you want, so why wouldn't you? In my opinion, mangas like Claymore take the right liberties when answering that question. Yeah, I can make whatever I want. Let's make,
This video is literally, he was mad that people said that, didn't say that Claymore had the best art. This is literally what this video is. There is no other way you're going to convince me that he had any other interpretation of, he watched a video of what said the best art on manga was. He said, holy fucking shit, it's not Claymore? Oh, buddy. I'm making a video about it. And he didn't know how to brand it. He didn't know how to brand it. He didn't know how to sell it to audiences. So he made up some bullshit and then added it in willy-nilly to, like, bolster his points. And none of them are good. Because the same complaints he had can be applied to the complaints here.
Whatever that is. It's my favorite manga visually. I'm continually inspired by its action scenes and character designs. I'm actually trying to make a comic right now, so, look out for that. And it's repeatedly the artwork I look up to the most. It challenges you to think of a different...
Dude, like, if I was to look up Claymore art, dude... Here we go, dude. Claymore manga art. This idea that, like, he complained about a lot of details. There's a lot of fucking details in that, dude. Like, just because it's otherworldly, you're giving it the pass? Like, there's like, this is just as much of all of your points against realism. I'm seeing the same problems here. Like, I might be off base here, but I'm seeing them here. It's just going with a different aesthetic. It's in a different genre that you like. It's more fundamentally like the art that you like better than the art that you don't like. You don't like shonen style artwork. That's what you should have said. You should have said, the video should have been like, I don't like shonen manga art better or some shit. But your whole premise of your video, like, what you're selling to the audience, is a completely different video than what you made. And that's where I have a fundamental problem. That's where I have a huge fundamental problem. Because none of this is about realism. Because there is realism built into this same artwork, dude. Like, looking at it right here, it's like, yeah, there's not a cityscape behind her. Okay. Like, that's loud as fuck. Look how much shit's going on there. Like, it's... Here we go again. Look at all these details in the rocks and shit. It's not the 100% deal. Like, there's just, like, some sloppiness. But it's not that... I still feel like there's a ton of detail here. Look at all this forest detail behind her. There's a ton of shit going on behind her there. So it's the same like issue. It's like a realistic forest behind her. Look at that. Look at all the trees and the fucking leaves. Like, I don't, his points make no sense when he keeps using Claymore, which to me has a very realistic art style. Very grounded art style, really. Compared to, like, if he would have made the thing where it was like Mob 100. Look at the weird, like, art choices here. Like, it's offbeat, dude. It's weird. It's unsettling. It's an odd art style. Mob Psych, there's literally, if you're talking about the anime too, the anime has like the most interesting, you look at this art style, it's offbeat, it's weird, you got weird angles, everything is odd. Everything about Mob Psycho is odd art. Nothing, like, it gets detailed sometimes, but it's mostly just fucking like, it's weirdly drawn. It's one of the most weirdly drawn things you've ever seen. And then the anime really like does a good job of like showing that weird art style. That makes more sense. Your points would be more realistic if you would have used something like a Mob Psycho but then people would have been like, well, you know, the person who created Mob Psycho also created One Punch Man, and he hates One Punch Man so much, and that's the reason he made the video, that all of his points are fucking baffled, you know? And I know that the One Punch Man artist for who's making the One Punch Man run now is different than the webcomic that the guy who made Mob Psycho made for One Punch Man. But this is just dumb. This is the worst clickbait I've ever seen.
Shape.
Again, I think it's an interesting video, but the premise is wrong that he's going in with, and his points are wrong.
And contour for a body to look like. It challenges you to look beyond a head, a body, 2 arms, and 2 legs, while also being comprehensible. Uzumaki is another one. Beautiful use of motion, designs, and lighting.
Okay.
I just wanted to highlight a manga that I think gets less.
Okay. Uzumaki. We're bringing Uzumaki here. We're talking about Uzumaki art. That dude like lives in fucking realism. And then he's using the shitty fucking Adult Swim spiral. Just because something has a horror genre doesn't mean that it doesn't have a realistic art style. Because I swear to God, all of the details and shit he complained about, like, there's realism based in these. These are fundamentally based into fundamentals. Like, look at the expressions. Look at the insane detail into her features that are very un-anime-like. They're almost realistic styled instead of anime styled. Insane detail going down this. It's just, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just feel like his whole points, everything he said, like right here. Here's the one I was looking for. All of his complaints, like, yes, he has a tongue that's spiraling, yeah. But in terms of, like, fundamentally like a person, it looks just like what you thought it was going to look like. I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's even less anime than your normal anime art. It's very realism based. But yeah, she's got swirls. Wow. Your points are invalid, man. And I don't know how to tell you that your whole premise in this is wrong and it doesn't make any sense.
Less attention. There are other mangas that master background art better, like Blame or Oyasumi Pun Pun, or that, what was it called? Otoyome Gatari. But rather than spending like 19 gazillion...
This video is just fucking bad faith, dude. This is one of the most bad faith fucking videos. And you know, I was giving him like a lot of credit because I feel like he has a well-made video here. I can say the video is well-made, well-paced, a lot of things wrong, but you contradict yourself constantly are contradicting yourself. You claim to be this person who's like really, really in depth with art, but everything about this is fucking wrong. And I'm an idiot. I'm a complete fucking retard when it comes to this shit. But I just feel like realism bad. Use abstract design instead. Proceeds to show examples of realism principles applied to abstract biology. That's not exactly not abstract art. Everything that I'm very subjective tape. Yep, most people think hyperrealism is the most difficult, and but see, this is like this is just like he uses. This is so bad. This is all such a bad video. It makes no sense. I can't take anything from this fucking trash video because he hasn't made any valid points. I was interested to see where he went with the Pablo Picasso thing, thinking he was going to pull some like abstract anime that like pulled like the really cool artwork that you haven't heard of. But he uses fucking Claymore, which falls into all of the same pitfalls that he mentions. Like, I've watched like a bunch of episodes of Claymore of the anime. I haven't read the manga, but it's like it falls into those same pitfalls. It doesn't feel that different. It feels like if you took the artist who made Alien and said make a Berserk make something like Berserk with your art style. That's what it would be. And I like Claymore. I do a lot. I literally said how much I like what I've seen of Claymore so far. But this is just bad.
Million years in drawing a single background, which is cool in its own right, but it's less creatively interesting in my opinion. I'm a little more inspired by the unique ways with which Claymore is able to maneuver the shapes of
hold
bodies.
on.
What was it called? Otoyome Gatari. But rather than spending like 19 gazillion years in drawing a single background, which is cool in its own right, but it's less creatively interesting in my opinion. I'm a little more inspired by the unique ways with which Claymore is able to maneuver the shapes of bodies. And I really do think it goes hand in hand with the rise of modernism, which is why I went on that rant. Anyway, that's all I got for you.
Literally, what he just said there about the details and shit.
Bye.
Literally, what he said about the details on that. We're gonna go over it again. We're gonna do this again here, right? Right? Oh man, look, where's that picture I found earlier of the details behind? Like right here's a good one. No, that's just action set pieces. Look at that. Look at all the insane detail. Right here, all the insane rock detail. There's the one I wanted. Look at all the insane background detail. Literally the exact same fucking problem that you listed and everything else. It's right there, plain to see. Quick Google, and I showed you exactly what was happening. Right here again, look at all the insane detail of the background, and it's over and over and over. This is just so dumb. Like right here, look at all this insane fucking detail. All of this stuff that he just complained about with that robot laying on the ground. Right fucking here, buddy. Right here. Look there. Look at all that insane detail. Like, you could have just drawn a few bodies cut up, and you would have gotten the point. And it would have focused on the emotions in the scene. Wow. Like, right here, look at all this insane detail. Like, we'll go here. Let's see if it'll pull me in, dude. This is the dumbest fucking video I have seen on art, and I don't watch videos on art. So I had a low bar for the dumbest video and dumbest take. You can see all the insane detail right here, dude. It's just like, I mean, this is obvious to pull out, but look at all of that fucking intricacies that it has. Oh, that's realism. Oh no. We're fucking proving this idiot wrong. Wow, dude. Wow, look, a little bit of research and a little bit of actually paying attention and like just actually utilizing the fact that you have a bias, an insane bias that you're not willing to talk about, and your that bias is now like bleeding in where you look at all of this fucking detail. Look at that, dude. That's insane detail, bro. He was mad that somebody put One Punch Man as the best art, decided to utilize this, and then complain about intricate detail and how simple is better, and then like used instead of using this picture, he used that other picture. Did you notice that? He avoided all of these things that utilize intricate detail and intricate backgrounds, because you view this image. Look at all the little detail they put into this back corner and all this shit that doesn't matter. They could have just grayed it out, but they did it anyway. His understanding is fatally flawed, and it sucks because like it's not on terms of it being a good show, absolutely, but you're missing the entire point of your own argument. Like all of this background shit that you say that ruins, and the realism that takes away from it is there in every single shot. I mean I'm obviously handpicking these shots, But to pretend it's not there is so disingenuous. Your argument laid flat once you use Claymore as the example, just because it has, I think it's HP Geiger type art. Like, realistic detail was his point, but it just made no sense. I fucking, what a taint wagon, dude. And he might be a cool guy. I don't hate him on the grounds of him as a person. I just think that his video was so fundamentally flawed. And it's not like something where I can go back to his opinion, because he based his thing on, this is my premise, this is why this isn't as good. Here is the examples, and your examples are contradicting themselves. It's not like, I don't like this style. I don't like shonen style artwork. I like when it goes into this extra detail or something. But you can't use Claymore as an example then. Your whole shit is just fucking... Your whole view is warped by biases. I don't know, dude. This was trash. I think it gets worse because of the clickbait. The clickbait going into it is just so bad. Like, you go to his channel on drawings, and realism is overrated. Realism is overrated. What makes manga art better? Like, that's not... I'm not getting either... I'm getting, like, half-assed answer on this, on why realism is overrated. I'm not getting this question answered at all. This is just bullshit. There's nothing to do with this at all. This is clickbait to a fucking most egregious. Like, I might have somebody come into my stream, like right now. They came into my stream and they were like, I love Berserk. This is going to be about Berserk. And you're probably thinking, why isn't he talking about Berserk right now? Well, because I already talked about Berserk. I started my stream with that, and then I transitioned to other things. That's how streaming works. You're not going to just focus on one topic the entire time. You're going to start with the topic and then move through to other topics. This guy never addressed this question at all. What makes manga art better? Never once addresses it. He never brings it up. I mean, it's just like, I have bad takes a lot. That's something I do. I'm a very opinionated person. Sometimes my opinions piss people off. That's who I am. But to come out here and act like I am genius when it comes to this art style, I am the source, I am the most viable person to it, and then not provide any details that don't contradict each other, is fucking retarded. I would have rather you just sat there and a tornado spun in the background, and you're like, that's semen, that's semen, that's semen, for the entire 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and called the videos come NATO, even though you never say come NATO. I would have been like, yeah, context clues, come NATO. You don't ask this question. You bounce around similar things to this question. You sort of do what makes realism overrated. You sort of address it. You don't explain where realistic art comes from and how this isn't actually, like, it's sort of realistic, but it's still very anime in nature. Like, this is very anime tropey in the art side, the style anyway. It's still grounded in anime. It may be like tipping the toe toward realism, but it's not realism in the general sense. You don't look like 100% real people. You're still seeing this in this anime art. I don't know, dude. I don't know. This was trash. But that's all I had for you guys today. Hey, don't delete your channel, buddy. Just fucking think about what you're making before you make it.